Welcome back. It's all up to Genius now. The Wings of Liberty player, the finalist, the champion of BlizzCon. Can he turn things around?
We have definitely now a Genius in the next game. The main question is, can he take down Extreme in another PvP? That's going to be really interesting. A really interesting match. I wanted to see a Zerg player. I really hope that we get to see one, but if Extreme wins now, he's going to end the day.
Yep, he will end things with one more victory. The kid's on a roll, showing some great plays so far. You know, really just straight up game we saw last game. No real special stuff except that one time warp, which really made the micro of San all the more difficult. He wasn't able to micro against his opponent. Then he thought it would have been dissipated, but he walked back into it, you know, thinking it was going to vanish, but it didn't.
Yeah, it definitely didn't, and it cost him at least one of those Stalkers. So right now we're just waiting for the next game to start, and this is gonna be good. We have another Protoss versus Protoss. Will Genius in Heart of the Swarm finally come to terms with his Void Ray addiction, or will we see it now even more often? Yep. I actually think that's gonna be the case.
I think
Void
that's
Rays
gonna
are
be the case.
So good in Heart of the Swarm.
I mean, he's the Void Ray king.
Maybe he found a new... Like his new poison is going to be the Oracle? What do you think?
It may be, but you know the other thing to consider is that in PvP right now, Void Rays are actually good to make throughout the mid game if you keep adding them into your composition. As long as your opponent isn't going Phoenixes, for example, Void Rays will kill Stalkers so fast. It forces your opponent to run away until you stop using your charge, or he might also be going Void Rays. PvP is a little bit weird right now. We'll see how Genius has figured it out. He's playing with his sign.
That would look pretty cool. Genius is definitely having a good time here.
Yeah, I thought he was going to take it and wave it like it was one of those fan signs, you know, that you hold up and you just shake it when you're standing in the studio. But my map is downloading right now. I think it's actually my fault that we haven't started yet. Like, it's at 70%.
Is that a map? I was looking at it and I was like, how long does it take for you to download this map?
I don't even know what map we're playing on, but apparently it's never been played on this PC yet.
Yeah, and that takes a long time. I mean, that takes a long time.
Yeah,
guys, we have some time on our hands.
Yeah, we've got, like, it's at 80% now.
I talked to the StarTale coach, and I told him, in case the team loses, I want to have a Zerg player. We've seen all the races today except for Zerg. I want to have one. I want to have Life. Life tried to kill me earlier when he dropped that thingy here on me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he laughed about it, and I told him, like, okay, that was really bad mana. I want to play you to play the next game. He said okay, but if he says it, it doesn't really count for much.
You never you never really know what Life is actually thinking.
Or if he's thinking at all.
That's true. He's just kind of a machine at this point.
Life is just someone who runs on intuition, I think.
Yeah, he's...
Instinct.
He's
raw
really smart.
instinct.
We saw his play yesterday in Codas. Even though he wasn't able to get out, he looked brilliant.
These Hydra pushes against Parting at the beginning, oh my god.
Against Parting's fake push?
So hard. And now you have an error.
Alright, well, it looks like
Wolf,
I'm right in the
you're
lobby.
doing it wrong.
Now I'm in the lobby. Everything's fine.
At least we're in the lobby. We have Belcher Vestige. That's our next match.
Yep. By the way, remember Code S? Yeah, Code S. I was like Code A or Code S this time. Yeah.
I heard
Code S is on Thursday.
Every time you see my face go like this, it's only because I heard the swoosh and I'm like, what is that?
Like, I'm like going like this. It means that there's an overlay I'm not sure about.
You can actually cheat. You can still look in the camera and you can glance at it. I have to turn my head. It's like... No, but yeah, Code S is going to be... Code S is awesome. I love it right now.
It's such a great season. It's the final season of Wings of Liberty as well, which makes it feel a little bit more special.
And in the final season of Wings of Liberty, we have once again the boss toss in the round of 8. This guy never loses.
Can he do it again, man?
I don't understand it. You look at MC and sometimes you're really surprised that he's able to get through, but he always does it. I don't know how.
I think MC has... the best. A lot of pros have good build orders and good macro, but I think MC's decision making, especially when he's behind, is the best in the world out of all pros. He knows exactly when he's behind. He's like, all right, I need to do these 5 steps, and I can't mess up any of them. But if I can go down that path, I can get back into this game, and he knows exactly what to do.
We have so many good players now in the round of 8. I mean, Parting advancing yesterday, that was such a thriller. It was crazy.
The rematch and everything.
So many mind games going on, especially in the last series. Oh my god, that was so good.
If you haven't watched the VODs for that, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's definitely something that you should check out. But right now, I think we are good to go. We have both players already in the lobby. We have our StarTale Protoss. We have Extreme already, 2 kills in this best of 7. And then, of course, his new opponent, AZUBU's Genius.
Genius, what are we going to see from you, man? Void Rays are good in PvP, not usually with timing attacks, but as part of your composition. They're really good defensively. If you hold a Nexus with your Void Ray and the Mothership Core, it's pretty good defense.
But to be honest with you, if one player out there has a proxy Void Ray build, it's gonna be Genius.
Or me, but besides the...
Yeah, but you're kind of copying Genius, so I give him the edge over you.
Yeah,
I have to say.
he's a little bit better than me, I found.
If proxy Void Rays work in Heart of the Swarm at all, we're going to find out right now.
Yep.
If we don't see Void Rays from Genius, then we all know, okay, proxy Void Ray is not going to be a thing in Heart of the Swarm. We can safely tick that off.
Yeah, we'll see. This is where we find out Genius makes things work or not.
Exactly, and somehow he always does.
Somehow he always does.
There we have the two of them. Genius, of course, to the right, and to the left we have his opponent. Extreme doing extremely well today.
Belcher Vestige is a pretty big map for Pros vs. Pros. It is possible we see a mid to late game with all sorts of craziness, Void Rays, Colossi fighting alongside each other just like the old days of Wings of Liberty. We might see that. It's very possible.
Yeah. The game is loading. It might be our last map today if Extreme is able to take it. Genius has other plans. He wants to take the game and bring it into the last match of the series, into the 7th game. Here we go at the GSTL Pre-Season, game number 6, Elden Wolf. Starting to the bottom right of the map in yellow is our StarTale Protoss player. This is, of course,
StarTale Dream.
Such a great player in Heart of the Storm so far, on a roll in this team league. He's up against the player at the top left, the BlizzCon champion and runner-up versus his former teammate DRG. He is
AZUBU Genius.
Self-proclaimed genius.
well, he has to prove it.
He
In
certainly
Wings
does.
of Liberty, he kind of made a splash, but in Heart of the Swarm, he is still
We're on a new
white sheet.
platform. Exactly. That's a great metaphor. We are in a white sheet. A wall in Protoss vs. Protoss comes up for stream. He's expecting some sort of weird play out of Genius for sure. That's interesting. I don't think I've seen a player wall in PvP in quite some time.
The thing is actually, if you think about it, with all the DTing that we have in this matchup at this point on the ladder, makes a lot of sense to just set at least a wall there, so if there are DTs, you have an easier time defending against them.
Yeah, you just drop a pylon to seal it off, or a zealot, and then you get your detection out. You send your Oracle home, for example, or you get your Observer back there.
Yeah.
Or you get sentries and hope you can hold on until you kill your opponent, but we'll see what happens in this particular match.
What we have right now is, of course, scouting going on, at least for the StarTale player, that is. Genius so far doesn't deem it worthy to send out his probe to lose the mining time.
Yeah. There's the Zealot coming out. Interesting choice. Wants to make sure he makes that.
So right now we talked a little bit about the options for both players in this matchup in the early game when the strategies are decided. In our last PvP, you have so many builds. Target opening is really popular in PvP. We also have the Dark Shrine going down quite often, especially on ladder. A lot of openings that are just designed to take an early lead in the game. And those builds sometimes cancel each other out. If you have both players opening up with the Stargate, most players will decide to go into Phoenix because it's a little bit safer. But if you want to gamble, you can go into the Oracle. If your opponent doesn't open up with a Phoenix, then it's really good for you. You can do a lot of damage to his economy. But if he opens Phoenix and finds your Oracle early on, then you are already way behind.
That's why in a situation like this, especially for Genius, it's better to do a safe build. Perhaps a Blink Stalker build or a robotics-oriented build where you're going to be safe against most types of openers. Robotics play in this matchup now is the most common, I would say, if you want to be safe. But with all the other builds out there, people still haven't figured out what the best way to open is. If you go Blink, you are a little bit vulnerable to DTs because you don't have any sort of detection, and Blink takes a lot longer, so you can't beat the DTs by seeing them with your aggression because it takes just so much longer to get that out. We saw that happen to San. If it were the Wings of Liberty build of time of Blink, he would have been fine, but in Heart of the Swarm, he can't.
That's actually a really good point. The Blink was a big issue for him. With Blink, it would have been much easier for him to defend, and then if he has more Stalkers when the Oracle arrives, he has at least a fighting chance. It's still going to be tough. But here we see the high ground pylon that is immediately attacked by two
Genius
Stalkers.
He's like, this is fine. There's no ability to warp in on high ground in Heart of the Storm, for those of you guys who don't know. This is one of the most aggressive moves I've ever seen by Extreme here. He's actually going up the ramp with less units, and there's a Mothership Core coming out. This is going to be a total thrashing by Genius. He's going to annihilate this force.
Yeah, one Stalker goes down after all. One escapes by Dream Nice Micro, but the Zealot is, of course, a unit that he cannot save in this position.
Seeing the Mothership Core is going to indicate to Extreme that Genius will try to expand now, and back at home he adds a Stargate.
Yeah, we have the Stargate and an additional gateway here for him.
And Genius
Both
is not
of them
actually expanding.
Now suddenly we have the situation where we have Stargate versus Stargate.
I think we're going to see both players go into Void Rays. Because Void Rays just do so much damage to Stalkers now, and they're great for pressuring.
Well, I know that we have one player going into Void Rays, that's for sure.
That certainly is. And Genius is now the one with the aggressive pressure here, so he will be able to stop his opponent's Nexus from going up. He just doesn't want to warp in too many Stalkers. This is a move where he tries to force his opponent to make sentries instead of tech units.
Yeah, so far we don't have any. He can recall if he wants to. Here comes one force field, but the Stalker is already down for a Dream. And the big problem for him is that he doesn't have a lot of units at this point.
Oh, he slows the probes instead of going for the recall. And you know, I feel this is the better choice in this case since he has the ability to just walk out. That sentry wants to trap him in, though.
That is just a great Time Warp field that we have here. All the units that try to defend have to go into the Time Warp radius. And this is why the pylon was completely shut down early on, and there's now only one pylon powering those gateways.
Just outside of the Nexus cannon's range here. He barely cannot be hit by it. This is a great position for Genius right now, who's making an Oracle at home.
Very good positional play now for Genius. He goes into the Oracle.
Missed force field here. He can't actually finish the game because of that cannon on the Nexus, which lasts basically forever.
Yeah.
But the Void Ray for the StarTale player Extreme should be able to push him back here.
Genius has a few more probes than his opponent, a slight lead here in economy. We have the Oracle out, it can do a lot of damage now, and this is a great position for the AZUBU player. He might just take it right here and there.
He needs to. He didn't get a sentry. I can't believe he did not try to block Genius out. There's the charge up on the Void Ray.
Look at the Time Warp. The Void Ray doing a lot of damage here, and he's trying to retreat, but now the Void Ray is suddenly on top of those Stalkers, and there's just too many Stalkers.
But look at how fast the Void Ray takes out the Stalkers. It's too much regardless.
Yeah.
GG.
GG. You could really see the Void Ray with extreme damage against the Stalkers, as you pointed out, but there were way too many.
Yeah.
Dream not too happy about the loss here, but now suddenly things are evened up. We have a 3-3 in this match. Genius with a win, tying things up. And as much as I would love to see a Zerg player, as much as I would love to see live, with how Bomber talked in the backstage area, I feel it has to be him.
I wanted to make predictions earlier, but I just can't. At this point, I just have to watch and let things go here. Normally in Wings of Liberty, we knew players' dominant matchups, we knew everything about the players, so we could make a very clear prediction of who would come out last. But at this point, I could see either way. Our final map is the map I like to call All-In City. It's Icarus. It's the map with the gold base at the back, and in Heart of the Storm, this could be even crazier.
Yeah. It will be crazy.
You can see Extreme getting a little bit heated after that loss, fanning himself.
I want to know who the next player is. I would love a Zerg, but I really think that it is probably going to be Bomber. The way he talked earlier, it really looks like he is one of the players that we will see today. And it makes sense to send him out now.
I think so too. Bomber is a player who's just all around good. His drops are insanely good, and with the new speed boost, I'd love to see if he's got anything planned with that. And on this final map, is that his secret weapon map he's been playing over? Because this map is very different. It has the rich gas, it has the rich minerals.
He's sitting to the top right, might be him. No, it's live! Yes!
Live!
Woo! Awesome. I love it. A Zerg.
Unless it's a trick!
Sick troll!
Wait, who is it? I'm not actually sure still at this point. It could be either. I'm pretty sure it's Bomber.
Do we have the double troll?
Just jumps up and does a back handspring. I'm like, ah! All right, StarTale coach is laughing, and there's a third StarTale player going in there now. All right, what's going on? There's 3 people in the booth. Okay,
it's live.
It's live for real.
I love it. This is awesome. No! Ah, come on, guys. Don't do this to me. You gotta be joking.
All right, well, there'll probably be rules put against this in the future, but yes, it is Bomber.
Oh my god, okay. Okay, seriously, Bomber, if you stand up right now and then a third person takes over.
The overlay spins around and it changes the name. Suddenly it's like StarTale Julyzer. I'm like, wait a minute.
Someone locked the door. Someone locked the door. He's in there now for good.
Alright, Life's sitting down. It's Bomber for real. And the map is Icarus. This is going to be pretty cool because the gold base, the gold patches on the regular base, which is, by the way, taken for free because it's a backdoor expansion on a map where people always hit some sort of 2-base timing. We've seen only Killer hit a 1-base timing and win a game.
You know what the cool thing is about the trolling that we just saw? Well, I couldn't lose.
You couldn't lose, I suppose.
Yeah, both are completely fine. I'm happy with both players. I would have loved to see Azur, but I'm completely happy to see Bomber now because the way he talked, I want to see some epicness coming out of this.
Yeah, and I think no matter what, we're gonna see some epicness for sure. Epicness all around here in Heart of the Swarm. They should have just called the expansion StarCraft 2 Epicness ensues. But I like Heart of the Swarm. It's a more Zerg themed title. Probably makes sense.
I have to say one thing as well. StarTale with players like Ace was always good for like the best ceremonies that we ever had, and this was definitely, I have to give the troll award to StarTale now. We had a lot of trolls when they were trying to fake the players, but this was the best one.
This is the best one we've seen so far.
You know what I never understood? Do you remember how actually Ace ripped apart his shirt when they were playing, I think, Prime?
Yeah.
Why was that never made into a GIF?
There probably is one out there. I haven't seen it though.
I have never seen one. This was the best ceremony that we ever had. He was going all Hulk mode, walking into the middle of the studio and ripping his shirt apart. I think it was a white t-shirt and underneath was the StarTale logo.
Yeah.
It was so awesome.
He had a bunch of things written on the shirt like "Go home, we're going to Vegas" and stuff like that on it as well.
In the end, they lost, but it was pretty awesome.
It was pretty awesome.
I'm wondering if there's a GIF out there. I would love to know that. So guys, there's a hint in that sentence.
So tweet it at Proximal, tweet it at Calder. We want to see it. All right, that's basically what Calder's getting at. I'm going to be the guy who drops the Twitter hammer. We're gonna get the GIF. Probably retweet it. But regardless, going down into the final match. This is set number 7. Not everybody expected this series to go this far, but it has.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're ready because we are, and here we go. Game number 7, Terran versus Ro8. We have Genius versus Bomber here at the GSTL Pre-Season. StarTale versus AZUBU. Woohoo!